Welcome to Conversations Live, where we bring you the best in music, books, entertainment, and more. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 16 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience and those tuning in online. We're glad that you all could be with us, too. We're really excited to welcome Colin Wayne to our program today. Now, many people have gotten to know Colin as a decorated military veteran, but he's also an entrepreneur that's been able to do amazing things through his company, Redline Steel, and also just in his everyday life as he's been able to continue to be his best self and then, of course, to show other people what's possible. We're going to talk to Colin about this amazing journey for him, what it's been like for him to have the appreciation for life that he does, and why it's been so important for him to give back along the way. Colin, thank you so much for the time today. Really appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor to be here, so thank you for hosting me.
Look, I appreciate that. So I want to talk about this journey for you, and it really is about a life of service, not only, of course, in what you've been able to do as a soldier, Colin, but also just in everyday life. I mean, what has it been like for you to see the impact that you've been able to have on people literally every day?
It's been an incredible experience. I guess just to paint a picture, I started Redline Steel about 4 years ago, and we've rapidly became the largest customized steel manufacturer in the nation. So manufacturing parts like custom monograms that you would see on your front door, faith, hope, love, tree of life, things that you would see on your wall. And over the last 60 days or so, we've actually hired over 35 people. And we've worked with local organizations to keep their businesses afloat and keeping them from having to furlough others. So it's been a massive impact, and it's been incredible to give back on that side. And on another note, we've donated over $3 million worth of medical products to medical staff, first responders, nurses, and that's what we've been doing the past 60 days or so is we pivoted our entire business plan to kind of go as a give back item. And it's been an incredible journey so far.
Right. And that's why, again, you have such respect, Colin, from people literally, across this nation and around the world. I want to go back, though, because when I was prepping for this segment, I thought about, I'm going to talk to you about Redline Steel some more, but I definitely want to talk to you about living a life of service. I think, one of the things we try to push all the time to our audience is that you can really serve no matter where you are. Have you always known that, Colin, that no matter where you were, that you could be a person that could be of benefit to someone else?
Absolutely. I do, and I firmly believe in value first. I think that no matter what you want to succeed in life, I think as long as you can provide value in one way or another, it doesn't have to be monetarily. It could be your time. It could be a particular random act of kindness. You can provide value, then it's going to be a massive impact for anyone.
Right. And I think to that end then, Colin, I think when I kind of look at what you've been able to do, I think the other side of that is that, you really have been able to show people how they can be able to eliminate excuses as well, right? Because considering your story and where you've been able to journey, not only, of course, in this country, but around the world, do you also think that, one of the things I think you do as far as your motivation on Instagram is kind of talk about that, right? No excuses.
That's right. Yeah, so May of 2012, I was in Afghanistan, and I actually got blown up. And ironically, it was in a gym, and a 107 millimeter rocket impacted about 3.5 feet from me, and I sustained multiple injuries, had to have lumbar block fusion surgery on my back. Shrapnel went all the way through my leg, where I had to do 6 months of physical therapy to learn to rewalk. And a year later, right after that incident, discharged out of the military, and took that same, what would typically lead people to a different path. I used it as fuel to that I wanted to be the top fitness model in the world, and that's what I tried to do, and landed over 50 plus magazine covers with Men's Health, Men's Fitness, Muscle and Fitness, Ironman, and use that same crutch that it's. I'm not going to use this as an excuse. I can't do. Right. I got to do resistance style training, but if there's a will, there's a way, and I think that's. Yeah. If you want to accomplish anything in life, there's a way that you can figure it out. You just have to have that willpower.
So true. I want to go back to what you just shared, and I appreciate you sharing a bit of your story here. I noticed that actually in a post on Instagram. We're going to let our audience know, Colin, how they can stay connected with you. In that post on Instagram, you talked about how the gym literally saved your life, right? And I love the fact that, I mean, you've been one of these people who have been so determined and so driven, but I noticed even in the comments on that post, not that I'm stalking you, but just when I was prepping for this, how people were just like, so not only impressed by that, but inspired by that. Talk to us about that, because I'm sure you get messages that the rest of us don't even see. What has that been like for you to, just by sharing your story and where you've come from and what you've done, how you've been able to motivate other people?
It's incredible, to have millions of followers across social media, to see the impact that it leaves. And, you start to have an incredible, I guess, fan base, and you start to notice what they're doing. And it motivates me to push myself even further on a daily basis. And it's the same thing that's applying right here at my business. I push because of them. Somebody asked me yesterday, like, what's your biggest fear? My fear is letting other people down. To have, 75 to 80 employees now, it's not just me and myself that I'm concerned with, but their family. So I have to continue. We said in the military is Charlie Mike. I got to continue mission and to, provide not only for myself and my family, but for so many people that depend on me.
Yeah, and I know they appreciate that as well. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Colin Wayne to our program today. You guys know him because of a lot of different hats and recognitions he's been able to garner. He's known as a military veteran, but also the great work he's doing as a successful entrepreneur, as the owner of Redline Steel. He was just talking about that, but also being able to impact the lives of others, especially in giving back. 2020 has definitely, I think, readjusted people's thinking, Colin, definitely in what they're being able to do, what they are not able to do at this point. Did it just seem like a natural thing that Redline Steel and you were just going to be there, that you were going to step in and do what you could to help others?
So one of my first statements when I was a kid, I was 3.5, 4 years old, and my mom told me that my first sentence was, I'll do it myself. And I've always had that mentality. At the beginning of the year, you mentioned you went onto my Instagram. If you look back, January 1st, I made a post and I said, this is the year of the comeback and nothing's going to stop me from moving forward and hitting those goals. So, even with everything happening on today's economic state and COVID-19, I'm not letting that stop me. I'm letting that thrive for my business, and I'm having to make those adjustments to ensure that what I set out and said and proclaimed in January, that we're going to do just that.
And I think that is, one of the big things, and it is so inspiring, Colin. I think, people are looking for examples, right? They're looking for individuals to inspire them. You mentioned your fans. I want to talk to you about what has that been like for you to embrace the fact that you do have fans, not just supporters, but fans that are literally rooting for you and inspired by you.
I got chill bumps. You can't see it on the radio, but I swear I do. It's incredible. So my daughter's birthday's today. She turns 1 year old, and we're actually hosting a live stream birthday party for her, and it's going to be incredible. I've got several hundred people that have already requested to attend virtually, but we're going to host that on my page at 4 p.m. Central on the Redline Steel page, and it's going to be awesome. We had over 250 packages just for her birthday party, where people sent in, and that really goes to show that these are more than just supporters. Like, they genuinely want to give back, and it's such an incredible extended family.
So let's talk about the what's next. You're right. I mean, I did notice as you were kind of beginning this year, I know podcasting is another thing, Colin, that you have added to your resume, and being able to share unique stories and to bring your own voice there. I want to ask you, before we get into, the what's next and let our audience know how to stay connected, I want to talk about for yourself. I mean, where do you go for inspiration?
I'm inspired by, so we have a focus group on Facebook, and it's called the Redline Steel VIP group. And that's really where my inspiration comes from, because it's the impact that they're telling me. Companies pay millions of dollars for having a voice, and I let my customers tell me exactly what they want. It's only a fraction. We've got over 1 million customers now within the last 4 years of being a business, but this very small selective group of about 38,000 people steer the entire course for our business, new product lines, and the development side. So when it comes to that, I listen. And I think humanizing my brand has been an incredible way to scale as a business. Who I go to for inspiration, there's several different people that come to mind. My brother, from a family, he's a father of 3. He served in the military for 15 years. He was a captain, and he's definitely up there when it comes to that side. I would say as an entrepreneur, Mark Cuban. I love his approach. I love how he's willing to take a chance. He knows the power that when he touches something, he knows what he can do with that. And as long as he has somebody that can guide it and he believes in them, he knows what he can do. And I have that same mentality that even if it's a pre-stage startup and it's got a great concept with a good board, then, with the power of what I can do when I touch it. So I think he would be on up there as well.
Got you. Well, I tell you, I mean, it's great that you'll be able to share that with us. But again, like I said, the fact that you've been able to be a source of inspiration and encouragement for so many means so much. So let's go back to a Redline as we kind of conclude here, Colin. And again, we know it's a crazy busy schedule for you, and we appreciate you taking that time to be with us for a bit here. So talk to us about moving forward with Redline Steel. What should our audience be on the lookout for as the year continues?
So with Redline Steel, we are expanding our line into canvas, into leather bracelets, leather keychains, as well as an entire custom product selection. We're moving towards a lot more within the custom side. So big things. We have a incredible, what we call $2 Tuesday, where every Tuesday we release a product and it's always $2. And so that's been growing rapidly. We have over 100,000 people that are a part of that, and that's a text-only campaign. But those are some new things that's coming up.
Wow. So redlinesteel.com is that website for you guys to be able to go to, redlinesteel.com. Make sure you guys are also following Redline Steel on Instagram as well. And, Colin, how can I stay connected with you, man?
I'd love for you to connect with me at Colin Wayne 1, or you could just probably Google Colin Wayne. I'll pop up. All the accounts are verified. There's a few hundred that are fake. So just be conscious of that. I hate when I get people are catfishing, and that definitely happens. So just be conscious.
Well, Colin, congratulations to you again. Thank you so much for the time, and looking forward to our next conversation together, man.
Absolutely. Honored to be here. Thanks again.
Yeah. My pleasure. And we definitely thank our good friend Zach Tepperman for setting up this chat with us for today, and thank all of you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today amazing. Take care.